Uh-oh. Got to add more people.
Bring them in, man.
Let's bring them all.
Bring in more people. How many people we got to bring in? How many we got?
I don't know. I mean, we've got to bring them all in. And am I like doing it on the spot right now? Where did Cody go?
I don't know. That's a good question. Cody, where'd you go?
Hold on a second. Add you, and then add. Oh, dynamic camera grid. There you go. All right. You got to work out the kinks, of course, with this new thing.
Yeah. Beam me
Always,
up,
always a fun thing.
You guys hear me?
Yeah,
I hear you.
There we go.
I got tossed. I was here and then I was gone.
What's up, guys? Yeah,
No.
we are all here.
We're here.
All right. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing great.
Here.
Man.
We're 2 days before the end of the year. Jeez.
Where'd it go?
Where did it
Where
go?
did it all go? Turn the slide up.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That looks good. Is my lighting okay? Colin, you're nice and bright.
Am I? Great. I came in here like 30 minutes ago to test out the lighting to make sure it was good.
Yeah. All right. What's up, everybody? What's the Haps vlogcast number 3? Number 3. Can you believe it's our 3rd time doing this, and we still haven't shaken out all the kinks?
Yeah. Well, that's what is it? What's the term? It's mostly user error, not system error.
Yeah.
We're
Not
still
my
up,
error.
right?
Listen, significantly better than if I was in control. So I'm not stressed.
This is What's the Haps vlogcast is a chance to get an inside look as to what's going on in and out of the box. We are joined by Coach Colin.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
We need to have like a soundboard right there where it goes. Rah!
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you for adding another production element to my list.
If anybody would like to volunteer to be our soundboard and engineer behind the scenes, we are taking applications for a free intern.
Yeah, I think that would be a great addition.
Yeah, someone who can run the board would be great. I would love that.
I'm just imagining Josh on the other side with like 5 screens outside of the one screen that he's got, and he's got like just everything right there.
Right now it's just one, but like I have that and I have my like rundown sheet. So
all right,
let's get things started. How was your Christmas?
Good. It was busy. We had 3 days full, so we have all the different sides of the family across 3 different days, and glad to be home though.
Yeah. Colin?
Yeah, Christmas is good. Let's see. I didn't have 3 days worth of it, but we had 2 days worth. And yeah, it was just fun to spend time with family and really watch Reagan get super excited over gifts, and it's just fun watching kids experience Christmas.
I really liked asking the community what their best Christmas gift was.
And what were some of the answers that jumped out, that stood out to you?
Actually, Lupe. Lupe's was probably the most touching for me, and that was quality time with
Mm,
like being able to, because she has a big family, and she had showed me some videos of like what they did. They were like doing this kind of like TikTok, YouTube thing where they copy each other singing operatic phrase, and they're trying not to laugh, but there's like
mm.
20 people in the frame, and they're recording themselves. And um, she said that trying to just gather everybody was the toughest part of it all, and that was the gift.
Welcome to coaching a CrossFit class
I was
101 right there.
gonna say the same exact thing. Now
Herding of the
maybe
cats.
yeah, she has some insider tips or insider experiences to running a CrossFit class.
That moment
Also,
where you're like, do you understand the instructions? Yes. And then you have that person just doing their own thing. That's it.
right? Well, I
That's
mean,
it.
yeah, I mean, that's part of it all, but that's also a gift. You find a couple of those people, and you're just like, yep, got to have one. Can't,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And
And
you know when they're missing though, and you kind of miss it.
yeah, because it does relay the information again for everyone else. So it does allow for that opportunity, like Josh was mentioning. It's a gift.
What was the workout?
Right. That's what I love doing in Josh's class every single time. Wait, he finishes. Wait, what'd you say again?
What am I doing here?
Oh man, that is bad. Speaking of trying to wrangle cats, what about that holiday party, huh?
That was awesome. That was such a good time.
I felt very
Um,
included.
you. That's good.
I had to
That
go right
is
for it, Josh.
good.
Let me get it out of the system. Just let me get it out.
When you play alcohol into the equation, and then having to do a touching speech where you try and remembers everybody's name, there had to be one, and then I got penaltied with 3 more shots. So needless to
It just,
say,
just to clear it up, Josh and I are on good terms. We're okay. Everybody, if anything, it strengthened our relationship.
definitely gotten stronger. And then at the coaches meeting, we shared a full rack of ribs.
They did. It was their first date.
We did. It was a
Did
bonding
confirm.
experience.
Did confirm second date would likely happen. Is that what I'm understanding from that day?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go, Colin?
It's a great question. I think we could talk about it and get deeper on it some other
Yeah.
time.
Okay. Okay.
Unless you want to
Moving on.
decide now.
No. If anything, we should choose the other barbecue spot down in Orange, Orange Circle.
Yeah, smoked, right?
Yes, absolutely. If you know about that and can give a thumbs up versus sauce.
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 You know what?
Sauce.
I think because we missed out on the axe throwing, that's what we'll do. Skip
Yeah.
the meal. We'll just go straight to axe throwing.
Yeah. Activity. That's always fun. That's actually better.
Agreed. I think if you guys need a referee for the second date, just let me know. I'll be there.
Please, we need a chaperone. We need
Okay,
someone
perfect.
to drive us around.
Perfect. I'll have you home by 10.
Yeah.
If anybody watching on social and wants to comment in on a good second date for Colin and I, just let us know.
Please.
All right. So holiday party, best part about it, Colin, Cody, I'll go with you first.
Best part about it for me, and this is just from the perspective of, owning the gym now and really kind of getting our feet on the ground. But the best perspective for me was watching the community come together, celebrate each other, really getting an understanding for how appreciative I am of all the people that were there. And what was nice, and this is less of the selfless part, more of the part that I actually personally took in, was how many people were thankful for us. And as selfless as we want to be, I think it's a really cool thing to have people come up and share with you as well the experience they're having. And obviously we put a lot of time and blood, sweat, and tears into it. So it is nice to have that refill the tank. So I'm grateful for all the above.
I love that, Colin.
Yeah, I think a couple things really stand out when I reflect back on the holiday party. One of the first things when you asked the question was the moment to acknowledge and celebrate the people that came over from previous ownership and stayed the course through the transition. I think that was a really great thing to see because, yeah, things can change and it's not neither good nor bad. It's just you liked where you're at, and you're comfortable where you're at, and to have them commit and come over and still be here, I think is definitely worth the acknowledgement and celebration. It's great to see them have that moment. So that was one of the first things that stood out. And I think on top of that, anytime you get CrossFitters outside the gym and see them outside of workout clothes, it's just it's different and it's a cool thing. So I know that's one of the things that I always notice when we have out of the gym experiences, whether it's with this gym or the previous gym that I was at. It's really cool just to see everybody in regular clothes and outside of the gym.
Yeah,
I love that.
especially when the zoo stays the zoo and doesn't turn into a wild animal park. That's always good. You've been to other gyms,
good.
CrossFit parties, you know exactly what I mean.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I was like, I'm not sure what you were going with that, but I think I do. I'll leave it at that. Josh, what about you?
It was fun, family, wholesome, because like what was great about this one that I've seen completely different than all the rest that I've ever been to in kind of like the 10 years of CrossFit. It was you have all the families with the kids playing over in this section, but then you have, little pockets of people just talking and getting to know each other, because this is just the first time that all of the classes are really coming together to meet, besides maybe, I don't know, Wad's Giving, but there were more people at the holiday party, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So seeing that was completely different. And then to Colin's first point of we had the coaches meeting, and one of our guest coaches, Alex Gibson, he said that coming into a space where we are inheriting a group of the of the OGs, if you will, and for them to allow us this opportunity to provide them a new experience and then bring back events and warm them up to a new community. Um, that was something that I had to just sit and kind of collect, sit in the presence of, like, looking around and scanning the room and going, wow, this,
Yeah.
we're here. So
How many were there? How many water bottles did you guys get for people that made the transition and stayed with? Do you know the number off the top of your head?
30. Yeah.
36.
Dude.
Yeah.
And that's roughly like a third of our membership base right now, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
So handing out, and then Cody, giving little bits and stories. I don't know. I don't even remember giving out stories more so than Cody sharing those stories, and I love that. But,
Yeah, I
Cody,
always do things with intention. That's the idea, right? Like, and it's one thing to constantly say like thank you, thank you, thank you, but to be able to prove it and let you know why, and like what I, especially being the one that's not at the gym every day. I think it's important for me to express what I know of what I'm seeing from people, because the impact is real, and I don't get a chance to tell everybody all the time. So
yeah. And for those of you that don't know, the water bottle that was given to them, we, as in me, Cody, and Cody's wife, Kat, had taken the time on a nice late night to put all of these together, like full on craft night. Where
you guys have ever used the Cricut, you know the pain of trying to go look at the sticker, think about how Cricut operates, and then never do that ever.
Never do that. The process is called weeding.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking out all the negative space of that sticker and then placing it on the bottle. But that wasn't the hard part. It was weeding all of the stickers, right, Cody?
Yeah, no, that was the fine intricate detail that is in our beautiful logo, is fine intricate tape you have to remove off of the product without ruining the part you need.
So needless to say, it was a nice, good 4 hours of work that we, I wouldn't say blood, sweat, and tears. Maybe little.
No, it
Not
was
not a lot of blood.
forehead to the counter, a little bit of curse words, and some Christmas music is pretty much more of what it was.
It was actually Schitt's Creek.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
No,
That
Like
is
the
the
huh?
the
show.
show. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we put those together, and it was just a small gesture, but to get, the thank you of like, wow, you guys really put some thought into it. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, Cody sure had some thoughts about it.
It's true.
What kind of thoughts, right? Hey,
It's like,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry. No,
No,
what
go,
I was
Colin.
gonna say is that I can tell from the being in the audience and watching people go up and get these water bottles from you guys, and not only that, seeing them bring them into the gym is how much they appreciated that. I can't speak for them, but I can definitely feel the demonstration of that. And in the couple that I did hand out in classes of people who didn't make it to the holiday party, it's like they were trying to hold back their what's the word I'm searching for here? Like their excitement about it, but you could tell just in their eyes that their eyes opened up and like they were so happy to get these water bottles and have the acknowledgement. So what the process you guys are talking about, I just want to say that everybody appreciated it. I can't say that for certain, but I can say I definitely felt their appreciation.
I love that.
See, Cody, it paid off.
It did. It did pay off.
I actually have to give more props to your wife because she's the one who told me to go, hey, finish this. Just finish it.
Yeah, Josh wanted to leave and start over the next day. And also, my wife was the only reason we figured out how to use the Cricut in the first place. So
That's right.
There you go.
without her, we would have still probably been trying to figure out what we were going to do.
Yeah. So that was kind of my holiday party kind of memorable moment.
Yeah.
Annual town hall. I'm going to post that online just so everyone can get a recap of everything that went on. But it's really just touching on a lot of the things that we're going to talk about for this one. And then last one was Tamal Fest. Cody, what's your take on it, man?
I thought Tamal Fest was really cool. They had a lot of really, really good fruit drinks. So that was nice. We had a guy overpower the bike and snap the chain.
Good job to him.
I did the 30, what is it, the 10-calorie challenge, and my foot slipped off the pedal, so I thought it was a good idea to do a second one right back to back, and then I almost threw up, so that was fun.
What was your time again?
14, just over 14 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
And then some dude came in there and did it in like 13 and
12.
change, or 12, yeah. And I was surprised that he walked away okay. He was a big, like 6-foot dude.
He said he profusely sweated like 10
I'm
minutes
sure.
later. Yeah.
It's the bike and the thing like that. Like you don't realize because you get off the bike, you're like, okay, I'm all right. And then 3 minutes later, it's just profuse body temperature climbs. You're ready to like vomit.
Mhm.
So that's why I always told other girls who were with their boyfriends who were like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I was like, hey, just stand next to them for like the next 5 minutes, because if they had no blood sugar, they might just fall over.
Mhm.
So that was fun. No, it was a really cool event. I think there are definitely things that you and I talked about where we can make or maximize it a little bit better next year.
Yes, absolutely.
But I mean, just the event overall is awesome. Good food, good drinks, good vibes. The people there were super friendly. I thought it was really well laid out in terms of like flow of the event. We had Axel take third in the tamale eating contest, so we've got his banner in the works to hang in the gym right next to.
Hey,
three
just
out of
leave
what?
it on the podium. He is on the podium. Just leave it at that.
I don't make the rules.
I know Josh is trying to say how many people are in it.
No, Josh is upset because we're gonna put a banner up next to his banner, him and Gibson's banner in the gym.
No, I'm not upset at that at all. I actually applaud it, and I'm going to design it myself. But more importantly, I am upset about him representing the wrong city.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
What city was he representing?
The city of Mexico.
What?
Okay, so I know that Mexico is obviously not a city,
Of
but
course.
when he went around, when the MC went around and say, "Hey, where are you from?" Someone said Santa Ana. Everyone's like, "Yeah," and then the next guy, "Where are you from?" Riverside. Eh, cool. Axel, where are you from? Mexico. Everyone's like, "Yeah." He's wearing the CrossFit Anaheim shirt. It says Anaheim in the back, and I go.
Oh
Anaheim,
man,
Anaheim.
bro.
So
Hey, I do have a question. The guy that snapped the chain, did you send the bike home with him as a trophy? Since
No, he
no,
straight
he would.
panicked though. He was like, he like hopped off the bike super fast, and he's like, "Oh my god, what do I owe you? Like, how much do I need to pay?" I was like, "It's not a big deal, dude. Like, it's we didn't bring our best bike out here to go through this, and truth be told, it probably needed oil, and a bike chain is like $30. So don't." But he was like, I'll just get off it now. I'm sorry." And then he wouldn't stop. Like he had like his hand on the handlebar, but he didn't want to like let go because he was afraid I was going to chase him down the moment he decided to leave.
Hey,
It was really
that's
interesting.
what I'm saying. It's like the ball and chain. After he did that, you got to let him lug the bike around the rest of the time.
Right. Right. Yeah. That would have been pretty funny.
I really
actually
felt bad for him. He was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," like in panic mode.
Yeah, full on like stuttering panic mode. It was pretty funny.
Mhm,
All right.
mhm.
Yeah, he
It's
felt
not
sorry.
funny. It's not funny.
No.
It was funny.
All right, and that's pretty much it. Do you guys have anything on that coaches dinner?
Oh,
No,
let me hear Colin's perspective.
Yeah, I think it was the coaches dinner was great. I think these are the things that the members don't see, but this is the first time that the coaching staff got together with all the additions since the gym began in April, and outside of our coaching clinics that we've been doing, just in a social atmosphere. So it's fun just to talk and be around everybody in a outside work environment, and it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Cool. Let's jump straight into kind of the member experience on the apps. I just want to quickly go over some of the things that I really want to go in depth on a different video altogether. But if you guys are looking at the app and are looking at kind of the schedule of things, you are able to book certain things. I really want to call out the day ones that have been with us. Some of them have been able to book promotional video shoots with Marla. And that's something that you can do online, especially if you're looking at the things that Colin is going to be talking about with clinics and whatnot. You're able to just go straight on there as opposed to coming into the gym and scanning a QR code and all that, signing up through that. So I want to be able to have our members take full advantage of utilizing that as a resource. And then really want to point out the social aspect of it all. Cody and I were really just trying to drum up ideas, and then we sent it out to the coaches. Coach Colin had sent back some of his ideas and talked to me about it. Colin, if you want to talk about how you just exploded the internet member app through your one idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And in all transparency, I told Josh, like, hey, man, it might take a month or so to really get this thing rolling. And the next day we open up the app and there's like so many comments on already. So yeah, really, in my experience with some of the communities that I've been a part of, not necessarily CrossFit specific, but with business coaching that I receive, like it's very common that we do win Wednesdays, and everybody in the community just shouts out, puts a comment of their wins, and it doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It could be anything personal, or in the sense that I've experienced it, like business related. And that's where I got the idea from. Like, hey man, it would be so cool to just have a weekly post for everybody to hop on there and not necessarily just share what they're doing in the gym, but maybe some of the things that are going on in their outside life that they're proud of, that, they're growing in their career or whatnot. And I came to Josh with the idea and shared the concept behind it. And that was that, and I think it's just one of those things that, in my experience, that you're looking for these wins that may seem harder in the beginning of like, man, what do I even celebrate? Like, it doesn't seem like anything that big is going on in my life. And that's the important part, is to reflect and be aware of the things that are going on that maybe don't seem big, that you can celebrate, you can be grateful for, that you can, be proud that you're taking the first steps towards a bigger goal. And it brings this community together that we can all not only share it, but, celebrate each other and cheer each other on in the same, or in the process of it too.
Yeah, I'm really getting happy about people that I think would not normally chime into different things, but they're showing up on the app. And especially now with kind of your last post, with some of the stories that people are sharing about their wins this week, specifically April, is so touching.
Yeah. I don't want to say without it that we never would have known, but it's like it provided the opportunity to share that. And it very well, like, we can celebrate her, of course, and it very well may inspire someone else in the community to be like, all right, like, I'm not the only one that feels this way or experiences this. And it encourages them along the way too.
Oh, yeah. Cody, anything about the social feed that you want to be able to share?
I mean, the only thing I want to do is continue to encourage it being used. And I know when we were talking at the coaches dinner, one thing we brought up as a staff was, if you're doing personal things that involve fitness and you want to bring friends, family, things like that, post it ahead of time in that group chat. Use that to gather your CrossFit family to go participate in those things for you. Same thing if you're doing any kind of competition, like a tamale eating contest or a CrossFit competition, or something like that, or you just need extra support for a test or an exam or a certification or some kind of professional, like, use that as a way to organize your CrossFit family to help support you in whatever fashion possible. Plus, I just like seeing that what everybody's doing, what we're all up to, and it helps build that camaraderie for everybody inside.
Yeah. And then if you want to be able to talk a little bit about why it's important to track data, we have the data side now integrated into our branded app. Perfect.
Yes, that's something we've been waiting for to take place. And like I had mentioned in the previous podcast, Push Press is still kind of in its infancy in terms of all the way being integrated with all things. But this is one of the newest changes where now your data is tracked inside of the branded app. That's the one with our logo on it. But yeah, to Josh's point, data is going to help shape behavior because you're going to be able to see results on a daily basis. And those results are going to help to kind of determine how you move forward in the next day. They're going to help you identify not only goals and achievements, but they're going to help you identify places maybe where fatigue is setting in. They're going to help you identify the things that you should work at versus the things that maybe you could take a little bit of time of focusing on. It's going to help if you ever want like personal training, that a coach can kind of go in there, look at that information, and really help to digest what kind of program or what type of template they want to start plugging you into to produce the results that you're looking for. It's really the ultimate key, and I know Colin, especially with some of the work he does outside of the gym, will attest to it. It's really hard to create any kind of change without data. And so it's a really, really important thing as a member or as just an individual to kind of track your results, have an idea of where they are. And then eventually you'll notice like it just becomes secondhand. Yeah, you put it in the computer system, but you pretty much are well-versed in every detail of what you do inside the gym. Just makes you more well-rounded. It helps you kind of understand where you fall within certain parameters, and helps you achieve the goals that you want to head toward.
Colin?
Yeah, I mean, literally, there's a law called Pearson's Law, and it says that what does it say? When you track and measure performance, the rate of improvement accelerates. When you track and measure performance and report it back to someone, in essence, have accountability, results accelerate even more. So it's proven that there's the component of tracking and measuring that helps you improve your results. And results don't necessarily just mean weight lifted, PRs, faster times, but it also relates to the things outside the gym. If you're working on losing body fat percentage, so on and so forth, is that there can be a correlation between what you're doing in the gym and what you're experiencing on the outside as well. And when you have some form of accountability of reporting it back to someone, it accelerates the improvement and even more. So that's where, when you're talking about things like personal training, people who have goals that they're really wanting to work towards and they're looking for the guidance and support on that, it's a tremendous help to not only track and measure, but invest in someone to help guide you and support you that you can report things back to that are helping you guide the process as well.
That's awesome. And you're going to talk a lot more about that when we go into resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Let's hop into events. 2024, we've already lined this up at our town hall meeting, and Cody and I are like, when we look at the rollout calendar for next year, talk about Cody and I being ambitious. We may not hit all of these, but definitely going to hit most of them, especially for January. We have Ducks Night. Cody, how is that going to look?
We are in the process of figuring out. I was actually looking at the schedule before we hopped on here in January. And yes, I'm very excited, especially I haven't been to a hockey game yet this year. So that gives me more reason to be excited than being a Ducks fan, even though they're kind of in this weird transition phase. But, so is every sport in the city, apparently. It was just going to be similar to the Angels night that we ran, kind of have a little bit. I don't know if the tailgate side of it is going to function exactly the same way. So I don't know if Josh will get to bring his easy up. So that might make him sad. But it's still going to be something that we want to do, gather as many people as possible. It looks like probably, unless we do it during the week, there's a Sunday night game on the 21st that is likely to be the best opportunity during January. So we will have more information on the specific date here soon, but that's looking like the leading candidate at this point.
CrossFit community, if members, if you are tuning in right now, go ahead and chime in with a comment on what kind of game you want to see, and then maybe Cody will factor that in, huh?
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. We also have
this. I have a comment bucket right here if anybody needs to drop a comment.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
We're going to continue our community days. Hopefully at the end of every month. We have one tomorrow, first thing tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be back online streaming again. And then we're starting to beta test, and we're sending out to our community what's the best day and time for them to do a kind of like stretch. We're going to call it stretch and flex. So it's a stretch and flex class, kind of like mobility, a full hour dedicated to just mobilizing. So that's in the works. We're going to be starting it once a month for the first quarter, and then seeing how that goes before we continue to roll that out. All that is included in your unlimited membership. And then some of the external programs that we're going to be at, and we're going to encourage our community to go to, is the Disneyland Half Marathon. I'm going to set up the tent right outside of the corner of Claudina and Anaheim Way, because the race route is running right through it, and then turning left on Disney Way. So we're going to be there in the morning, just getting the crowd pumped up as they run by, and hopefully we can expose them to our gym.
Josh, are you going to be in the middle of the freeway with the pop-up?
Yeah, DJing. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
That'd be sweet.
Down the whole freeway for the easy.
You have nothing to do with the event, but we're just on the side and you're DJing, blasting music out. You look like you belong. It would be great.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
I vote yes. If you guys want to get Josh to just stand out on the sidewalk and DJ for no reason as people run by him, please drop a comment.
I wish I was able to ride my bike and then have like a little DJ set up. They do this in the UK.
What are the things down in what are they called? The rickshaws down in San Diego. You know what I'm talking about? The guy on a bike. We can get you one of those.
Yeah. Okay. I'm down.
That'd be sweet.
I'm down. Yep.
I think the members will think that's a good use of gym money.
Well, can I put the big flag, the big CrossFit Anaheim flag in the back?
Yeah, absolutely. I would expect nothing less.
All right, wasting time. The NAMM show is coming up. It's a big music show, and a lot of the trade show participants are there. I posted one thing, but we really hope to get more. Justine, I'm gonna put there. There you go.
Yeah,
There,
love
nice.
it.
So I apparently I have to DJ.
Hey,
that
100% of the votes are in, and they all say yes.
Cool. Moving on, we are New Year's resolutions. So I want to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of New Year's resolutions. And Colin and I had a nice little discussion about that. Colin, you want to start?
Let me pull this up. So when I think of things, I look at the definition of it. And and the reason why is to start bringing some clarity in a picture of like what it is that we're talking about. So when we're talking about a resolution, a firm decision to do or not to do something. And in that definition in of itself, it's a decision that you're making, which is a great thing. And I think, and when I was thinking about this, is sometimes I can make it seem like I'm poo-pooing on resolutions, and I'm not. I think it's the general idea of the lack of follow through on that, and I don't think it's anybody's fault, right? So I think resolutions, in and of itself, are a great thing, and making this decision to do or do not to do or not do something. And this definition will come more into play as I talk about other things, but I'll pause there for a moment and just let the discussion flow.
Cody, what are your pros and cons of it?
So I think the gist of what Colin is saying is that words don't mean anything without action, right? And so I feel like a lot of times, and I think it's really a skill set that a lot of people just aren't taught how to do, in terms of, hey, I'm going to project something for myself, and then it just happens, versus, hey, I'm going to project something for myself. I have a game plan as to how to get from point A to point B. Part of that is data collection, like we could discuss earlier. Part of that is understanding where you stand currently, and what sacrifices or changes or deviations from your current plan are needed to move in that direction. Sometimes it includes needing a coach to move you along, or an accountability partner to move you along and make sure that, when you're alone in the dark at home, you're not sneaking in all the donut holes and a glass of milk. I'm speaking from experience. So I think that I wouldn't say they're necessarily cons. I think it's always a good idea to project something into the universe, because if you're in a like-minded group of people, you're going to create accountability partners regardless of whether you're intending to or not. I think that's a theory I abide by a lot, is I always talk about what I want to achieve, even if it sounds ridiculous, because then next time I talk to somebody, they're like, hey, where are you in that process? And if I hadn't started, then I feel ridiculous for having talked about it. And even more so, I talk about it so much that I'm holding myself accountable, because I've told everybody in the world about what I intend on doing. So I think that the pros of it are that obviously you can get somewhere you want to go, and you can achieve things you may not have intended or thought you could do. And then the cons are mostly, you might add some extra stress if you don't have a game plan, you're not structured in the way to get there. And I think all of that comes down to the point you have below, with some mindset coaching and understanding and game planning, and appropriately setting yourself up to get where you want to go.
Yeah. Before we get into that, I really want to talk about some of the people that have been coming in to the gym to do fundamentals courses this month. And specifically speaking, they weren't taught. I was like, hey, was this a New Year's resolution? And they're like, well, no, like why start then? I wanted to start now, and I was like, whoa, it's blowing my mind, to see some of the people that actually want to get a head start of their fitness journey wherever they're at, and like you guys were saying, and finding someone to hold them accountable, or be driven by like a community like ours to set that in motion.
Yeah, I think on that note, like if I were to think of a con, it's that like resolutions make it seem like there's only one time of the year that you can start trying to do something. And I think it's a tremendous fallacy that people fall into. And I say that because it's about taking personal responsibility and just saying like, oh, I'll wait till next year. And then we start procrastinating on a lot of these things. And I wanna read this quote because I actually saw it today about procrastination. I it was so good that I literally screenshotted it. Let me figure out where it's at. Here it is. Procrastination is like a credit card. It's a lot of fun until you get the bill. And it is, right? It's like, oh, I'll be fine. And then it accumulates, and then you're so frustrated and overwhelmed with how to get it started. It's like, I think that if I were to give a serious con to like resolutions, it's just a stigma that it has to be around the beginning of the year. And I love what you're hearing from these people in the fundamentals that like, yeah, like why do I have to wait till January to start this? And this is where people start taking action, and something that I've heard phrased as the speed of implementation. The sooner that you go from an idea and a decision to actually taking action are the people who are more likely to succeed, because you've created little space between you and actually doing the thing that you're talking about doing.
Yeah. I've actually taken little bits and pieces of what what you've kind of coached through our group with your first mindset coaching, Colin, and that's been a game changer, especially coming from my background in my corporate career was being a project manager. Now, coming into this, the reason why I'd leaned on Cody so much was like, hey, I want you to do this while I can stay in this lane. And then now having you in the picture of being able to go, this is one thing that you can do to move the needle forward has been a game changer. And I can't wait for another mindset class.
Yeah. And do you mind if I add one more thing on that? I'll keep it very brief before moving on. I think a missing link for people to take it from resolution to reality is a proper goal. And if anybody's listening to this or watching a replay of it, a simple way to take your resolution and turn into something that's real is by turning it into goal. And here's the simple framework that Josh is mentioning that you can take and use, is that you create a deadline to it because you're putting a time frame to it. And you say by the month, the date, and the year. So that way you're putting some sort of time frame to it. And then from there, it starts with putting it into an actual result. And a result is either a numerical thing or an event that happens. And when you write it in that frame of by, month, date, year, I weigh X number of pounds, right? And you speak it as if you've done it. So that way, when you say that goal, you're talking it as if you have already accomplished it. And then from there, it's about creating meaning to it and understanding what the identity of the person who accomplishes that goal. And that's a whole topic for another day. But just starting with the framework of creating the goal will make you that much more likely to succeed than just having the decision that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. And again, I'm going to be able, I wanted to cut bits and pieces of it because I was moving the camera so much in the first mindset coaching that I was going to edit it and then post it up online for our community and outside if you're just tuning in on YouTube to go watch it.
And we'll have one in the month of January, as we spoke on. So you guys will have another chance to come in person and actually turn your resolutions into goals so they become a reality.
There you go.
Love
Another thing that I really wanted to talk about is kind of the foundation of virtuosity. Oh, see, I switched it up. So, yeah.
Nobody saw it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Barely noticed.
Cody, with you getting your L3, working on your L3, you want to explain virtuosity?
So, virtuosity, the idea is, just everything that you have moving in a certain direction should be oriented toward not just a end goal, right? But also like the personal accountability and the morality that kind of goes all into those decisions that are being made, so that you're lifting people around you at the same time that you're elevating yourself. That's kind of I guess a 10,000-foot view of how I would describe it. Now, all of that stuff plays into it on a surface level or on a granular level, like even the note where you have being coachable. If you want to achieve where you want to go, you have to be coachable, and you have to assume that you can learn something from anybody you come in contact to. And that goes not just from a member to a coach, that goes from a coach to a member. I know all the time when I'm on the floor, I'm looking for new ways to communicate the same thing to different people. So I'm always trying new things. And if John reacts one way to something and Susie reacts another way to something else, I can use both of those methods as a trial for the next person who comes into class, because they both communicated to me that both of these techniques work in communicating whatever it was I was trying to do. And all that leads to me being a better coach, which leads to better results for all the rest of the members, right? So that's exactly how that plays out forward and kind of spiderwebs that way. More than anything else, though, this is kind of a building in how we start to give back to the community in more powerful ways. And all of that is going to play into like the clinics and things that we plan on bringing forward to the membership.
Yeah. Some of the comments that we've gotten beforehand is, would love to see a muscle up clinic and handstand walk like this at CFA. Colin.
I mean, like a clinic for handstand walks, or just a handstand walk? I'm just messing with you. Grammatically, that's how it sounded.
Cody's humor.
I'm just reading it. Just reading it.
I imagine they were implying a clinic for handstand walking, whether they will see handstand walking.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we did see it 2 years ago in an open. You
True.
had to get to it, though.
You did, and then you fell over because your arms were smoked by the time you got to it.
That's right.
Anyway, back on track. Sorry, Colin.
Yeah, I think there might be an actual old CrossFit Journal article about virtuosity, and I've heard it summed up, I think, in Greg Glassman's words, as doing the common uncommonly well. Like, and the best example of it, I think it's actually highlighted in the article, is how well is your air squat, right? Like how dialed in is your air squat? And I know for me personally, like that's something I still work on, and I've been doing CrossFit since 2011. And that's 12 years in the game, and I'm still working on getting my air squat to be better. And because there's so much carryover, like that's one example of it. And I think there's so much to pull from that from a coaching perspective, like you're mentioning, Cody, like how we communicate things, how we're building relationships, like the virtuosity, like building a relationship and communicating is common. Now, how can you do that uncommonly well? How can you communicate something in a way that makes sense to 10 different people in a room? Right. And it's the same thing from even the membership perspective. Like, it's great to back squat three big wheels on there, right? 315 for most of the males. Like, that will be something that they're like, dang, dude, like I did it. Right. And maybe for the females, it's 225 with 2 plates on each side. One surefire way to get yourself there is to have a better air squat, and I'm just using that example of like, it starts with us as coaches being virtuous in nature and focusing on doing the common uncommonly well, and breeding that mindset throughout the community to, when we're doing the technique and warm up, so on and so forth, like there's an intent behind that, because you do it well with the PVC pipe, and yes, it's uncomfortable to get in your front rack with it, but gosh dang it, you're going to be that much better because of that.
Right. And I would say the thing, when I hear virtuosity, beyond kind of where this discussion is going, the one thing I want to point out is I feel like virtuous, what our gym right now does virtuously well is welcome in drop-ins, new members, everything like that, because that is what's being reinforced in all the feedback we're getting. Right. So it's funny, as you were talking about, like doing the exactly what the CrossFit article discusses, and doing the common uncommonly well. That's what's given us our 5-star review. So now if we can carry that over into the actual fitness portion for each member and for all of our coaches and for Josh and I as ownership, I think the gym is unlimited in terms of contact potential and reach.
Yeah, I would back that. Everything you just said 100% is like, this virtuosity thing is just floating its way around the gym. And I'm curious, do you guys know what Greg Glassman used to say is like if this one thing is in place, if this one area of the gym is clean, you're gonna have a successful business. What is it, Josh?
It's the bathroom.
Yeah.
the bathroom.
And every single time I'm in there, I'm picking up stuff off the ground and making sure the bathroom's clean. And because like it's it's true, man. How many places do you guys go and the bathroom's just a mess? And
Too many.
right,
Far too
not to
many.
get too far off topic, but it's still CrossFit related. And this idea of
Yeah.
virtuosity of like taking pride in not just the physical space, but the mental and emotional space of the gym too. And I think it's something that is really well embedded in our culture at the gym.
Yep. Agreed.
Sweet. Some of the clinics that we want to roll out, Colin, we had talked a little bit about getting something out in the first quarter. Do you want to allude to what we have in store for them?
Yeah, I would love to just make sure I have confirmation. It's the conversation that we had last week, right? About muscle ups and double unders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know double unders are a common thread throughout the classes that people would love to get down. So those are, I know that's
looking at you, Javi Garcia.
Yes, Javi.
12 years. We need to get you in there.
Dude,
he's
not 12 years. I made that number up, but
rope and he's on his way. He's
feels
making,
like 12 years.
Yep.
8 years?
8.
Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah. No, but I mean, do we feel like we need to take a poll, double unders versus muscle up as the first one?
I think we should do it justice and see what's popular by demand and let the membership choose which is the first one to roll out. But those are the two that I have planned out and that I have a game plan for, and I feel confident in rolling it out there. So yeah, let's let the members vote, man.
Love it.
Awesome. And I'm really hoping to get that started before the Open, because that's something that'll really jazz people up, especially if they've never done something like the Open before.
Yep.
Yeah. You'll definitely find some sort of test of double unders or, muscle ups where it's going to present people with the opportunity to get their first one or try them.
Great. It's a good segue into the 2024 Open. We're going to have a vlogcast just dedicated for that. I'm saying January 12th, but I think we're still trying to work that out, only because I want to be able to have a vote on some of the t-shirt designs, and then really have the interest of the community on re-educating them on what the Open is, and what I've done in the past for other communities to do the intramurals, which is teams. Now, our membership isn't as big to where we need multiple teams. 2 teams would be fine, but it's something that we're not asking everyone to, die on the floor for, more so than just be an active participant in showing up for your team.
To be clear, we're not asking you not to sell out. We're just saying it's not a requirement.
Oh man!
So send it.
Send it.
Look, if I've seen Cody in a world of hurt in the Open, so I'm just excited to see that one again.
Oh, it's going to be a different world of hurt this year. There might be tears. Why? Because I had twins and they take over my life, and my biggest fitness other than lifting in my garage, which is still like, I'm not lost, but it's different than 6 days in a gym every day for 4 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So that part's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, and just changing to dad life. And Colin knows, and anybody who's got kids or multiple kids, you get it. But that doesn't mean I try any less. I try the same amount. The result is just less.
Cool. Yeah. Well, we all trained for it. But yeah, definitely. I would say do your best.
Thanks.
It's about having fun.
I'm gonna give it the whole gulch try.
There you go. Some of the dates to save for Friday Night Lights. I want you guys to put in your calendar now, February 16th and the 23rd, and the last one being March 1st, and especially Saturday, March the 2nd for the after party. Are you guys doing anything on March the 2nd?
It sounds like an after party.
Right? I was gonna say, what's going on tomorrow, man? I don't even know that yet.
Jeez.
I'm sure March 2nd is open.
Yeah.
That's right now, Josh. I'm gonna mark it on my calendar.
Hey man, 3 months in advance. That's how far out we're going right now with our planning.
This is
I've
good.
got it in
Yeah,
real time.
cool.
You guys just watch that. Put it in the calendar.
There you go. There you go. We're ahead of schedule. Cool. Last thing we're going to talk about is corporate fitness. Cody.
Yes. So part of what you guys have heard us describe are in terms of what the business model is, or including things that go outside the box, right? So one of the big things Josh and I really want to do is be able to provide value for people who can't make it in, have kind of this hybrid model where we can build and grow the community, but they don't actually have to use the same facility or the same instruction, but they get the support, right? So the corporate fitness structure may in the future involve some on the ground stuff, but for now we're in the process of building a beta rollout that is going to include essentially recorded online coaching and tips, cues, things like that to pay attention to. Where a business who maybe has a bunch of work at home employees can tap into this. Each employee can watch it at a separate time whenever they're available to actually get their workout in. They can follow along the programming that's going to be occurring in the gym. They can track their workouts the same way anybody in the gym would, and they will have a coach go through that workout program with them. Now, we're not going to have somebody recorded for, say, it's a 20-minute AMRAP, just like every 3 minutes go, keep going, go faster. No, it's not going to be like that. But there'll be a way to have it all timed out. There'll be a way to have a timeline to follow, organization, instruction, things like that. And then we're probably going to try to tier it based on the size of the company, things like that, and all built in through the same systems we use every day. So that's the larger idea. And then we're actually going to probably beta test this with my insurance and financial advising company. I've got my CEOs on board with the idea, ready for us to kind of pitch what this will look like. We're going to let them beta test it because my companies all work from home. And a lot of them are complaining about not knowing what to do for the gym. And when they go to the gym, they're kind of like, bumps on a log because they don't know how to program for themselves. So they thought it was a good idea. Josh and I wanted to develop it. It allows us to really kind of open the doors to people who can speak more freely into the critiques that we will get in return to really polish this off nicely. Where this benefits everybody who is in the gym is not just the growth of community, but in terms of just bringing another revenue stream. So Josh and I can provide more for the coaching staff, provide more, equipment, keep those bathrooms clean. Maybe buy Josh a second tent, something like that. Maybe one on wheels, so he can really just push it around when he's DJing. Like we can tie his table to the thing, and as he walks, it just follows him. That'd be cool. But yeah, really, where it comes to the benefit for the gym is that you guys are we're going to have a better opportunity to do more, to grow faster, and provide a better service overall.
I love that. I love that. So I actually wanted to go back because that slide that I missed or that I skipped through was part of the resolution of my part of what I wanted to talk about, which kind of I like how you said that, really shouldn't be a con to it more so than a challenge, right? And what Cody and I would like to introduce in terms of a challenge is something called the dedicated challenge for next year. Something that we want to roll out to the community where you go in, what was it? How many times, Cody? About 12 times in
Yeah. Sorry, I
average.
was like, what we were talking about
Sorry. Yeah,
the
the
minimum
dedicated
requirement.
challenge.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking about an average of 3 times a week would be the average. So if you take that normally, I mean, if you look at the average weeks or months are like 4.5 weeks long, but we're just going to call it 4. So we'll round that to 12. So 12 attendances per month. Doesn't have to be in consecutive weeks. It could be, 12 straight days, however you need to break that down because of vacations, things like that. But we're also going to build in another structure, just like the corporate stuff, that has a work from home variation of the workout. So if you guys are a part of it, and say you're on vacation or you're sick and you can't get into the gym, you have a secondary resource to keep the consistency. Now, again, because it's just an accumulated 12 per month, that's not necessarily a requirement that you have to work from home, as long as you can get the other days in that you need to meet the minimum.
Yep. This will also be structured as a small buy-in for you to get a logo plaque with your name on it, and then it'll be on a magnetic board at our gym, where every month it'll move up the scale if you meet this requirement that Cody was talking about with the average check-in, or just get your fitness on for that allotted month. This is
Can we call
something
it the
that
Get Your Fitness Dedicated Challenge?
make it longer, Cody.
Well, I just like the phrase you used. That was all. I got excited.
I want a nice long.
Sometimes I word
nice,
vomit.
Yeah, nice long sentence above the dedicated. It has to end with dedicated though.
Get Your Fitness Dedicated for Better Results
No,
Tomorrow
you already,
challenge.
you already said dedicated, so it has to.
I know. I put it in the
end.
middle.
Okay. Now we have 3 lines. So that is coming up down the pipe. We're going to have more details on that. I'm really, really excited about it, because all of the merchandise that comes out of that is going to be pretty cool. So, well, that does it for this edition of our What's the Haps vlogcast. Our New Year's holiday hours, Cody?
New Year's holiday hours are going to follow just like the rest of the holidays that we have had. So you will have open gym only on New Year's Day. I believe there is a deviation, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, to New Year's Eve too, right, Josh? Or are we going full? Okay.
New Year's Day is off.
New Year's Day is off. Is there any change to New Year's Eve though?
That's just open gym as well.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure before I spoke it out loud that you confirmed it. So yes, open gym on New Year's Eve and day, and then full return to hours on the 2nd of January, when you guys can bring in your actionable, relatable New Year's resolutions.
There you go. Nice. Colin, any closing words before we go?
Just about the dedicate thing, man. That's awesome. I'm excited to see that be onboarded into this year, and I think it's something that goes along this theme of tracking and measuring things that ultimately, in my experience, it comes down to time. And when you're thinking about any health, fitness related goals, is you got to prioritize the time to do that stuff, and a key component of that is getting into the gym. So I think this is super cool, and will really motivate and encourage a lot of members to show up consistently. So I'm really excited to see that take shape in 2024.
That's going to be cool. One of the other things that I actually left out of there that we're still kind of really firming up is incorporating Street Parking's Vault program, which involves one workout a week, participating with a global community. So this is part of a bigger effort to really embrace CrossFit and the history of community building as the global brand.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, like we've talked about, our goal is not just to be inside the box, but out. And part of that is also to kind of unite the phrase of inter CrossFit, the Nicene conflict within CrossFit. So I think it'd be really cool if one day we have the entire community involved in, something like that for a weekly challenge. The same way I think it's going to be really cool if we can get all the gyms in Orange County to create a CrossFit night, and we'll be out there like our Little League banners. We'll all hold like CrossFit Anaheim banner, and then everybody walks behind us, and then CrossFit 7-1 Hoare right behind them. And like, you know what I mean? I think it'd be really cool. Your parents can take you there. They can buy you the hot dog. You get the little glove, all that kind of fun stuff, just like Little League.
Yep. And all that is in place. So this is going to be a fun 2024.
It is. And on top of all the other things that we haven't even come up with ideas yet for, that I'm for sure will not be afraid to be thrown on top of the pile of things we've got.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, that does it. On behalf of Colin and Cody, my name is Joshua P. Scratch and Fit, Colin Meaves, K Fairfield 4. We'll see you next time at the end of the month of January for the next What's the Haps vlogcast.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, that's good. Two hands goodbye. All right. We'll see you.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Laters.